This is the big number 10, the 10th episode of the Hectic Way podcast. I'm here with Mr.
Harrison Hernandez, aka Young Hondo.
And the owners of Flatland CrossFit.
Tobias Sultan.
And I'm Bailey Sultan.
Which one's the best Alani?
I don't like it. Red Bull's the best Alani, I think.
You got Red Bull in there?
Oh, heck yeah, dude. We got Red Bulls in there.
You're right.
That Red Bull Zero is the best.
Yeah, Red Bull Zero, you need to try that if you haven't.
That's my favorite. That's all I drink.
It's the best.
What's the difference between the blue can and that?
I really don't know. They just taste
Zero
slightly
sugar
different.
and-
Yeah.
So
almost.
sugar-free is the light blue can. That one is zero. So I kind of compare it, like when I'm telling people, it's kind of like Diet Coke and Coke Zero.
I became a distributor just so we could sell those because you can't find them anywhere.
It's just a different,
honestly, I've never had one of these.
different artificial
What do you
sweetener that
think?
they use.
Yeah, whatever the artificial sweetener is that, I love it so
Like
much.
sucralose. No, it's not stevia. I think this has stevia in it.
What do you think?
It's pretty good.
Dude.
Yeah, it's sucralose.
That's all I drink.
What's the difference between
Yeah.
a sucralose and like...
So there's sugar alcohols that also don't, that's the whole thing with zero sugar is that you're kind of trying to decrease the calorie from the carbohydrate. So there's different, I think you can make like synthetic artificial sweeteners, but like stevia is a leaf. So you can really like get it extracted and it's 99 times more sweet than sugar. So like you can just use very, very small amounts of it. But it like, I don't know, it just depends how sensitive you are too, because some people like artificial sweeteners. Some people are like, nah, this is not it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're a lot smarter than me. My biggest pet peeve is I'll come in here, I'll be drinking a Red Bull, and a member will be like, that's so bad for you, you're gonna have a heart attack. At the same time, they're drinking a Bang. And I'm like, dude, it's the same shit. Like,
What?
Bang
That's
has
like-
more
That's way
caffeine
more, dude.
probably.
That's
Yeah,
triple
literally,
the
it's like
amount.
double, yeah, triple. Like 300 milligrams of caffeine.
that's
Versus-
115.
Does
Yeah.
this one have zero caffeine?
No, it has caffeine. It has 114, 115.
Grams.
But it doesn't have
milligrams.
creatine. Some freaking Bang says creatine on top. I'm like, you think because you have creatine in there? And so that's my biggest pet peeve when people are like, Red Bulls are so bad for you. So anyway.
How do you feel about, would you drink do you like vodka Red Bulls or like alcoholic drinks with Red Bull?
It's not my favorite. Mostly I just like beer and tequila. That's like what I like. So I guess that's kind of why Red Bull gets a bad rap maybe is because people party with it.
Yeah.
And then people don't party with Nocos and Bangs. You know? And so maybe they're getting that.
I don't know. I feel like Four Loko, if anything, would be the company to make an energy drink.
Yeah, they
Like,
should.
they seem like
Bro,
like
they used to.
Did
They
they?
used to have caffeine. That's why it like got wiped off the shelves. It was like illegal at one point because it was like
Really?
it was like 10% alcohol, 400 milligrams of caffeine, and like all this other stuff.
A
in it,
recipe
dude.
for disaster.
I've never even tried a Four Loko.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Really?
Yeah, I've tried it, but I've never done like a full one.
Like,
I
not
don't
even
think I
college?
remember trying a Four Loko.
Yeah. Yeah, I never did.
Good point. Good point.
That's
So,
funny.
are you guys like a big caffeine or anything kind of drinkers? Like, do y'all drink a lot of Red Bulls?
I think
stuff
I've
like
added
that?
up my caffeine and I probably average like 300 to 400 maybe a day. I usually have an Alani, a Red Bull, and then a cup of coffee or a Diet Coke or something like that.
Yeah, I like religiously do 2 flat whites in the morning and a Red Bull.
Flat whites? What is that?
It's just like it's mostly milk. So it's like it's a espresso shot, I think, and then like frothed milk.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, dude, we got this like $600 espresso machine that we just bought, but it was on sale for like $200 because Bed Bath and Beyond was closing, and so now every
Dang.
morning I do 2 of those, and it's like the best thing ever.
So how do you ever take like a tolerance break or see a difference in like can you go without it?
I did once last summer, and I didn't really feel too big of a difference because like I feel like 300 milligrams isn't too much, and that's about where I'm at per day. So like days like today, I did a Red Bull and a NoCo and 2 cups of coffee. So that was like probably 500.
Right.
But yeah, I don't go too crazy with caffeine. I think I could stop. I say that. I don't want to, but
What's the reasoning to begin with? Why? Is this like that extra boost that you initially got, or like what's y'all's reasoning?
honestly boredom. Like
Agreed.
we sit in that office all day and I just get so bored drinking water. And that's why I started zinning too. Yeah.
I think actually whenever you stopped and went on that like cleanse where you tried to stop drinking them, that was what you like craved the most, is you're like, I am just so tired of water.
Yeah. What about you guys? Y'all do a lot of caffeine?
I'm a caffeine fiend. Yeah. I probably average 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day.
Okay.
And then, I mean, that's about it, honestly. I don't drink a lot of energy drinks unless they're available to me. and I mean, I'm sure I eat various things with caffeine in them that I don't know, but
Yeah. What about pre-workout?
no, I don't do any pre-workout most of the time. If I do, it'll most likely be a cup of coffee, 30 minutes to an hour before. That's when I'll do it. But I know homie, you don't really drink much coffee, but
No, I used to not really even do pre-workout like caffeine because the industry is so big to where they have so many different like ingredients and blends that you can have. So the main like 2 different kinds are like the stem-free and then the stimulant ones with caffeine, and then like other extracts from different, like who knows what they use. It's wild, like they use barks and like wild. But yeah, like the pump, the stem-free is more like for pump, so it has like citrulline, beta-alanine, creatine, while the stimulant ones will have more like caffeine and like focus-based stuff. So I kind of mix it in between. I used to not, I don't think I'm dependent on it because I don't always take it, but you can definitely tell the difference. Like sometimes it helps like push through. So I use it if I need to or if I feel like it.
do y'all take pre-workout? Do y'all do any of that?
I'm like a once in a blue moon kind of girl.
I got into it for a bit and then I started working on the evenings and stuff, like I said. But I like the tingle that.
You get that? Do you ever itch, dude?
Oh,
my face starts to feel it and I freaking love it. But then after I took it like maybe 5 times in a row, I stopped feeling it and I was like, I need more, you know? And so then I kind of stopped taking
like
it.
3 scoops in
Yeah, for real. So I stopped taking it and then so that way, like when I have like a workout I care about or whatever, then I can.
You want to try and go a little harder.
Do it then.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll try to maybe help you out on that because that's like one of the main things I liked also. And I came to find out like that the ingredient they use is beta-alanine.
Okay.
So rather than doing more pre-workout, I just bought pure beta-alanine.
Because we have some sitting there.
And did my own. And that's kind of what gives you that little tingle.
Okay.
So if you're not trying to...
What is that tingling? What is that like representing? Like what's
the science?
Bro, it's literally just like a side effect. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. Like I've looked into it and all it says, it's kind of just like, kind of what it does when it gets metabolized.
Interesting.
But it's dose dependent because if you take too little, you're not going to feel anything. But once you start getting to the higher dose, that's when the symptom will come into effect.
In your case, how much does it take for you to feel that effect?
Bro, it used to take like about 5 grams because it would be in the blend of the pre-workout. But I stopped feeling it, so that's why I got it on my own. So I like double it. I use like 10 or 11 grams.
Can you do too much of it?
A lot.
Or is it like, is there any negative side effects if you like take
Honestly, bro, no.
Okay.
And that's the good thing about a lot of pre-workouts and like things that you take, like to keep in mind is some things are soluble in water and some other things are not. So if they're not, they can build up like within your fat cells or within your body. But most things that are water soluble will just go through your kidneys and you'll pee it out. So it's like pretty hard to overdose. It's like creatine in a sense. Like if you take too much creatine, you're just gonna be peeing probably a whole lot
more. But like I'm sure there's other precautions you need to make, like stay hydrated when you're taking creatine. Because I know multiple people that have taken creatine on a consistent basis, and then they don't really change the amount of that they're hydrating, and they end up like having almost like a pure like kidney failure. Like they'll actually experience. I don't know if that's completely related to creatine.
I think it'd probably have to be more like an extreme case of dehydration because, bro, you'd probably have to be getting to like extreme amounts, like 200 grams of it or something.
You don't drink water, you just don't drink
if you're not drinking any water, fasting and exercising and taking creatine is probably not the best thing you should be doing, you know?
For sure, yeah.
Y'all do creatine?
Yeah, I actually do about probably 7 to 10 grams a day.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just upped mine to 15 a day just because I was doing 5 for a long time and I just wasn't feeling anything. I don't know if I'm still feeling
like
anything.
Like you hit like the flat line almost.
Yeah, and then I read somewhere that like to take 15 if you're above 180. And I'm like, I'm right at 180.
Yeah,
I can do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like there's general guidelines for pretty much almost any supplement that you can find. But at the end of the day, it's also very dependent on your size. Like for a woman who's 100 pounds, maybe she can take 3 to 5 grams, but a 240-pound guy should probably take 10, 15, maybe even 20. Like, who knows if like you're super lean. Sam Sulik probably takes like 50 grams of creatine and some of the other special sauce. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You were
For sure.
convinced for a little while that it didn't work.
I just feel like, I mean, no, like I know there's so many studies out there that like creatine is like awesome and there's almost no negative side effects. So I know it worked, but like all the girls would talk about it and they're like, I'm so bloated and bigger when I'm on creatine. I'm like, man, I feel like it does not shit for me, you know, but
Have you noticed a difference since you started taking 15?
I actually feel like I have.
Yeah.
But I've also at the same time, which maybe this is a disservice to myself, I really started cleaning up my diet at the same time. So I'm like, I look way more shredded, but I also at the same time that I started like upping my creatine, I also was focusing on eating better stuff.
So would you say you've been losing, like losing fat but keeping mass? Like,
yeah, I think
it's kinda
so.
like a
Yeah,
solid
like
main gain.
we have the little body scanner and it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but like I'm down 3% body fat and my muscle mass is up. Because I did kind of like a mini bulk a little bit too, so it kind of worked out pretty
little
well.
surplus.
But yeah, just a little surplus for a couple months. We went to Europe and I just like drank a shit ton of Guinness. And I was like, dang,
Where'd y'all go?
180, that's what I want. We went to London.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, we went to London this December
It was so much fun in
It was-
Amsterdam.
in Amsterdam. And that was dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I kind of gained 10 pounds. I was like, I'm going to try to keep this 10 pounds. And so
Just
then
kind of transform it.
yeah, that's when I upped it and started just like doing a lot of strength training. And then I stopped logging and freaking lost 6 pounds. But then my muscle mass was up. So
What
anyway.
would you say you changed in your diet? That as far as
I think when I was logging, I was just like, so I was doing 3,300 calories. And I still don't even know if that was quite enough. You might be more versed on that. So it was probably like the way I calculated about a 200 or 300 surplus per day. And I was staying pretty consistent at like 180, 181, you know, getting around that area. Maybe wasn't quite consistent enough to like hit, because I did a pretty small surplus. And then when I stopped logging, I was kind of eating the same stuff, but when I don't log, I just don't eat as much. You know, I've got to like, I was making myself at the end of the night. I was like, fuck, I've got like 500 calories left. Like, I guess I'm going to have a tortilla and ramen noodles and just some bullshit.
just something that threw me over the edge?
Yeah, dude. And I didn't look as good. I definitely like could lose definition, but I was feeling a lot stronger in here. So anyway, just like I think it's those extra little snacks I wasn't having at night to try to hit that
Yeah.
calorie. But other than that, I really haven't changed too much. I've kind of focused on more whole and unprocessed here lately, just because I think I feel good on it. But it's hard to eat as much calories as you need with like mostly whole and unprocessed. So
Yeah.
All
Pretty
non-processed. That's
Bro, I mean, you'd be surprised. It's just like, especially the environment that we're in. That's the thing. That's what sets you up for failure, bro, because it's everywhere you look, everywhere you see is something is processed. But if you, I mean, it's as simple as it gets, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's how we're kind of. I really try to eat as much whole foods as possible.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come from the ground or come from an animal,
Get out of here.
unless it's a Pop Tart, you know, Pop Tarts and the Tillamook ice cream. That's like every time I fold. But
Yeah. Do you log or what do you do? Just eat mostly whole and unprocessed?
I don't really log. I just try to. I'll usually fast in the morning for the first like couple hours, like first 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll eat my first meal. Usually like a pretty big breakfast, and then I just kind of just fill it out
feels right.
basically. Yeah.
What do you weigh?
I weighed. It's funny, bro. My weight has fluctuated within like 15 pounds within
damn.
the past probably 45 days. Like it's
Okay.
been
Wow.
insane. Like I've been at a solid 163-ish ever since I graduated high school. And then it's like at the beginning of March, or like to the middle of March, beginning to middle of March, I weighed 178.
Oh, dang.
And then I weigh 164 to like this morning.
Okay.
So it's like it goes up and down, and I think it's just because I don't keep track of it.
Yeah.
I lose track of it if I don't eat, or like caffeine is a huge appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
So like if I get hungry but I don't have time to eat, I'll drink a cup of coffee and it'll hold me over.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not the best, but
it's a chore, bro. That's the thing. You have
It
to,
is.
I mean, put so much energy into it if you really want to be like very specific and more effective about it. So
If you have like serious goals, whatever it is, we've found that like our people, it's like, hey, like this is a life change. Like you're going to have to turn your life on its head and like trust and be really consistent.
Yeah.
And being consistent is hard.
Well, and we found a lot of people come to us and like, dude, I want abs. And I'm like, well, let me tell you the sacrifices that you got to make with abs. Like, and then we tell them like, man, you gotta be really consistent. Like, we gotta get you under 15% body fat. Like, we need you to like cut out the beer. Like, we need you to drink clear alcohols or don't drink.
Going out to eat once a day.
You have to track, you have to log,
Really hard to do.
you have to be in here. And then when we tell people the sacrifices it takes to get abs, they're like, I think I'm good. So I tell most people, honestly, I'm like, if you can be between 20 and 15% body fat, like you can kind of go have fun on your weekends, and then you can come in here, work hard, eat mostly good during the week. And so that's kind of what we preach to people is like, stay 15 to 20. Like, that's the most, unless you just have very serious goals, we're like, you're good. Because we have mostly regular people in here. We don't have like crazy athletes. We have a couple, but for most people, we're like, dude, just like, you want to be able to throw your kids around and have a beer on the weekend? Let's get you at 18% body fat. Like, you're going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, little goes a long ways too. I mean, like even like 20 pounds, I've seen people drop 20, 30 pounds, and it makes a significant difference. Even like on your health markers, especially if you're like compromised older, can definitely improve your quality of life.
We had this one guy that was, before he got onto nutrition coaching with us, he was drinking like 3 to 4 like Cokes a day. And we were like, hey man, like change nothing else. And like, let's just pluck some of those away.
Try Coke Zero, dog.
Yeah. And then at the very end, we like calculated the like actual grams of sugar that he was eating. And we had him like pour it out on a scale, and we recorded him.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
I bet that was a cool experience.
He was
Like,
like-
y'all got the pure sugar and y'all did it.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Like,
dope.
pour it out till you drink from 4 Cokes. And so he like measured it out on a scale.
That's smart.
Yeah.
To illustrate, show people like,
Yeah.
He was like,
Really
shit,
get it.
dude.
It's just like in a syrup form.
Yeah, I was like, try to eat that with a spoon, bro. See if you can do
You
that.
never
That's
seen
what
a
you were
boiled
doing every
Coke?
day. Yeah.
Like that is crazy. It's
Yeah.
literally like tar almost.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Heck
horrible.
Yeah. It's
It's
tar,
like
man.
it looks like tar. It looks
Bro,
like
it
something
looks
you
like-
can put on
yeah.
your roads. Like
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah, he ended up losing 15 pounds. We didn't even realize to change anything. Or 10 pounds. And all we had to do was like kind of cut the Cokes out.
Dude,
It's
was
crazy
cool.
what like sugars and then how you said that you cut your weight just by simply not snacking as much. And I noticed a big difference. That's kind of like what happened. I was snacking a lot, like snacking probably every hour of the day until I went to sleep.
Yep.
And then it gets to the point where you cut out that and you maybe have like one snack
Yeah.
that's not even that big, just something to hold you over. And you're cutting out 700 calories a day.
I know, dude. And nobody
It's
knows it.
crazy.
They don't even like, I'm like, well, tell me about your diet. And they don't tell me about every time they walk by the chips.
Yep.
And they're like, I'm going to have 3, and it's like, man, you do that 10 times a day.
That's
Like you
250
said.
calories.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big deal.
For me, it was weekends. Like I would go so hard on the weekends. And we finally were like, okay, let's just like log everything and like take accountability for everything that we're doing on the weekends. And I would look back and I would be like, I had 5 Chiltons, 5 margaritas, and 5 beers in like a sitting. And I was like,
Along with quesadillas, pizza.
yeah,
Jeez.
Like,
queso.
wings. Why am I not shredded?
4,000 calorie day.
Yeah, honestly, dude. And we love drinking. That's our biggest thing. It's like been the hardest thing is to like control the drinking more.
Yeah.
For us, we just like drinking with our friends and
Yeah.
partying.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing I think to balance.
Yeah, y'all like drinking enough so much that y'all will literally do that as y'all are working out.
Hell
Y'all
yeah,
run.
Miles.
Y'all are running in shotgun.
Y'all gotta join us for the beer mile.
Yeah, y'all are invited to
So
that.
what? Just kind of dive into that. What is that?
Yeah,
What is
so
that?
super simple. All it is, you start 3, 2, 1, go. You open a beer. You can't shotgun it, and it has to be a 5% alcohol beer. So it's like a Bud Heavy or like a Yellow Belly. And so you have to chug your whole beer. Once you're done, you pour it over your head. If there's any like drops, it's like a penalty or whatever. So you have to like chug it, and then you run a 400, come back, chug your next one. Run a 400, come back, chug your next one.
Oh, so you're doing after a 400?
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all
see-
running like these like fast 400s? Like I'm trying. Okay.
It's all about. So we have one guy who's like a badass. He's one of our coaches here, and he gets it in like 10 minutes, which is a 10-minute mile.
No, that's
pretty
great.
dang good. So he does that with his drinking as well. But for me, I'm so slow at chugging that it takes me like I think my beer mile time is like 21 minutes. So it's really not fast at all. So the 400, if you can't chug well, the 400's like nothing.
And if you throw up, you have to run an extra 400.
Ah,
and a lot of people
that's
throw
what they
up.
made me do at track
No way,
practice. That was like the worst thing ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, y'all got to come out and do that with us. It's a pretty good time.
It's kind of funny. The fitter people get and like the
worse
more
they do.
yeah, the worse that they do. And so it's kind of funny. My beer mile time has gotten progressively worse
Wow.
every single year.
As we've gotten fitter. So
So
yeah.
how long have y'all done it before?
I think we've done it the past
3 or 4
3
years.
years.
Mhm.
We're kind of toying with the idea of making it massive this year and doing something crazy.
You need to. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, normally we just do it in here, and we normally have like 50 or 60 people doing it, so it's pretty wild. But we're thinking about trying to take it to a track and like make it this huge event.
Y'all can get
So,
like some sponsors, get free alcohol if people sponsoring it with.
I guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna team up with like a brewery in Lubbock and see if-
$2.
Yeah, I mean, considering that it's 5%, you can definitely get some like brewery.
yeah,
Lubbock
some
based
IPA.
people, yeah,
some
IPAs.
IPA or something.
Oh, that'd be
my
tough on the
gosh,
stomach.
I'm out on
That'd be
that.
tough.
Yeah, man. Do you guys drink much?
Used to definitely, bro. Like peak like COVID after graduation, dude. Just slamming them, bro. Like probably like 4 days out the week. Just really not. There wasn't anything to do, you know. Kind of just hanging around and drink. And then that passed over and it got better. But then I moved out when I transferred to Tech and just started partying again, bro. So much like partying. And just eventually, you know, you can't do that. It's not sustainable.
Yep.
So I kind of just kind of steered away from it. Realized that I didn't make a lot of bad decisions, but something, whether it be how I feel the next morning or whatever happened or the amount of money I spent, whatever it may be, nothing good really came out of it, especially like taking it to like a more extreme level. So I definitely try to like, I'll drink maybe twice a month or so.
Yeah.
I keep it very minimal now.
That seems like a perfect amount. About twice a month is
Every other
kinda
week.
ideal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
See,
you,
no, I don't. I haven't in the past probably 7-8 months, but
Dude, that's awesome.
beforehand, I mean, yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
fresh into the new world.
Heck
like,
yeah, dude.
Feeling the freedom out a little bit, and you definitely learn your limits really quickly when you're pedaling the metal. So.
oh yeah, dude. I feel like I still haven't learned my limits, dude. So we had a wedding. So we did a video for a wedding. And we were like, okay, we're going to get wasted. And then we have to come and work out in the morning. And we did it for Flatland's Instagram. And I ended up getting kicked out of this wedding because I got so drunk.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
And
then-
y'all crash this
This year?
together? Like,
Yeah,
y'all,
no, it was a wedding we were invited. It was one of our members. It was stupid. We shouldn't have done it. But
oh no,
I know,
that is
dude.
awesome.
So like all our members are here and I'm like wasted. And this like,
The sheriff comes up to me and
Like,
she
dude.
was like, "You
it
have
was a
two
girl
options."
cop and I was like wasted. I was like, I think she's trying to sleep with me. And they're like, this guy's got a gun. So yeah, I got kicked out.
Yeah, she came up to me and she was like, "He's either leaving with you or he's leaving with me." And I was
Oh,
like,
that's when I was like, she's trying to go home with me, Bailey.
and I was like, "That's not what
Oh
she's
my
saying."
god.
Oh, that's
Saying that to
awesome.
the cop.
Classic move.
Legendary.
He definitely should have gotten in more trouble than he did. But
Yeah. So then we went, the next day we had to wake up at like 8 a.m. and come work out like hungover.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the point of the video was. It was funny.
but people loved
Still
it.
drunk.
Yeah, people loved it. So it was dumb. But really, we just talked about the negative parts of the alcohol whenever we did that. So
Well, it was good to like get the awareness out there.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah,
guys, you
like-
know,
do what we say, not what we do.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and what is kind of a harsh reality with that video is we were like, let's drink like we used to, and let's like go really hard. And so you look back
Taking
and
freaking shots like crazy. Like, yeah.
we were like, we did that 3 nights a week, every week.
Yeah.
living that lifestyle of like having y'all's own gym, how did that like just kind of pan out to like where you guys are now? Like, how did y'all get started with it and
Yeah.
all of that?
Man, the gym has really grown with us, I think. So I started when I was 18. And so we had to choose like a high school senior seminar project to like do this massive project for the year. And so I got my certification. And then it kind of just turned into this massive thing where like I had 50 adults hanging out with me like every day, like paying me $50 cash to come work out. And then it kind of just turned in. I bought in with another guy and kind of took off from there. But what's been interesting is we've grown like when I was around like 18, 19, 20, we just had college students. And we were just like, we'd party together and
It
then
was
we'd
the
come
Wild
work out.
West.
And were y'all
Yeah.
in college at the time as well?
I was, yeah. So it took me, I didn't graduate till I was like 24. So it took me a long ass time because I was paying out of pocket and then also trying to run the gym at the same time. And I just failed all my fucking classes. So yeah, so I was pretty bad there. Now we're pretty hardcore. Like, let's stop drinking. Like, let's cool down a little bit. We still drink and party, but
Only when y'all are doing the beer
Or,
mile.
yeah.
only we're doing beer mile. Yeah. So
For philanthropy.
So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we try to drop to like two weekends a month. Is kind
Yeah.
of what we try to do. And then when we go on vacation, we go full send. So
Do you have a specific vacation time where it's like, all right, every 3 months or every 2 months or 6 months or?
honestly, we travel so much.
Really?
So we're about to go to town for a full month. Next month, we're going to Europe. We're going to, you tell them about that. You're more of a travel lady.
We're starting in Ireland. We're doing Ireland, Switzerland, the French Riviera, Monaco, one mystery place because we could not decide as a friend group like where we were going to go. So we gave my mom like 8 places and she just booked a place.
So y'all are just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah.
On that one. That's,
we
that's
do just a
sick.
carry-on and just.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carry-ons
Carry-on.
only.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
And we're finishing up in Sweden because his dad is actually from there.
Yep.
And so he spends, at least the last couple of years, he spent,
About a month
yeah.
there.
So are you like first gen American?
Yeah, so my mom was from Lockney, Texas. And so she met my dad. My dad moved over here when he was like 13 or 14 and they met at Texas Tech. So they went to Tech and got married. And so anyway, we got a bunch of family over in Sweden. So we always go over there.
That's cool.
So yeah, growing up, he had his like green card. And so like we went to Salawater and like all of our friends would, I don't know, like our Hispanic friends would be like, where's your green card? And I'd be like, dude, my dad actually has one. You know, like,
Relatable.
is your family from the United States or?
Nah, bro. All my family's from Honduras.
Cool.
Originally.
Cool.
So are you first generation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a citizen, and I could have got my citizenship with my mom, but I had just turned 18. So like, if you're underage, you get like a grandfathered or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of go through my own process and do the citizenship test. And
Is it hard?
Nah, bro. They asked who was the last president. The one question though that I'm glad I did study was who is the head of the Senate or the Supreme Court or something. I don't remember.
I got no idea.
But I got it right and it was cool. But I
Nancy
think
Pelosi?
the thing is,
Say it's the House Speaker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
no, it's like actual name is what I mean.
Yeah. No,
who
I don't
is
know
it?
who it is.
Oh, yeah.
But we have.
But I think the thing is with that, bro, is that all that's already predetermined. Like, you're either gonna get it or not. Like,
Really?
I feel like if you answer a few questions wrong, it's not justifiable to deny you your citizenship compared to maybe somebody else who has like committed some crimes and knows all their questions.
For sure.
So it's
Got you.
Right.
So it's like a
Kinda already
pointless
know.
test.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So is your family all here now?
Nah, I moved here with my mom in 2009, and then she married my stepdad, and also have an aunt that lives in Minnesota. But other than that, I usually just go to Honduras like once a year.
Is it fun going over
Go
there?
back. Yeah, it's great, bro. It's always nice to touch base and finally, like, I have no worries over there at all.
Is there any cool tourist stuff to do in Honduras?
Yeah, like, is it worth us like booking our next trip to go there?
You would definitely love to book a trip to Roatan or Bay Island in the very north. You probably don't really want to do anything in the city, but our island is definitely one of the most beautiful places
Really?
on there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
We just like
some-
going to crazy places. Yeah, we started traveling hard like 3 years ago. And I don't know, all our friends kind of started talking about like having kids. It's like, shit, man, if we have kids, like, it's going to be hard to
Definitely
travel. So
significantly cuts like
dude,
the
Yeah.
chances of all that happening.
yes. So we were like, man, let's travel before we have kids. So I'm coming up on 30. Bailey's old as shit. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Just kidding.
Well, you look good, dude. You don't look like you're 30.
Dude, I'm freaking bald.
Maybe the beard.
Hey,
Dude,
me
it's
too,
a
bro.
bald head, bro. No, you got hair though. Mine's like actually gone. So yeah, that sucks. But if I had
Genetic
hair-
is your dad bald?
No, dude. My dad
For
has
real?
the
He
most
has the
beautiful
best hair
head of
ever.
hair.
No way.
That motherfucker.
Is your
And
mom
then-
bald?
So my mom's family had really bad hair. So like her whole
probably
side
it.
of the family. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
More
what everyone
dominant,
tells me.
I think
Yeah.
on the mom side, it's usually.
Yeah,
what
I think I
shows
read
us.
something about like I think it's your mom's dad, right?
Yep.
Like
exactly.
That's what
He was
mostly
bald.
has. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
all
the
my mom's
most.
side.
Yeah. That's the dominant gene.
I know it sucks.
for
And I see you
baldness.
with this luscious hair.
Well, he's got the flow
Yeah,
going
try,
on.
bro.
I know, dude.
I tried.
You gotta be flexing on us.
Bro, it's a buzz cut over here.
I know.
Wow.
I had to. I was
Looks
just like,
good,
you know
though.
what? Let's send it. Let's get rid of
Yeah.
all the hair.
I know. I tried to hold on to it for a long time. I was trying to do this little comb over bullshit. And I was like, dude, just lean into it. Go bald. It's fine.
He got married and was like, all right, I'm safe. I can do it now.
know.
I can shave my head.
She upgraded. She got boobs as soon as we got married. I went bald as soon as we got married. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, we're going opposite directions.
There you
I know you got the
So-
shit end of the stick.
I think you did.
That's funny. So how are you guys like? How do y'all know each other? How did y'all get into this business together?
We were technically high school sweethearts. So his whole senior seminar project, I was like one of his like first members. And we would just basically work out together. And it was just all of our friends from high school. And then all of us, so all of the kids, told our parents. And that's actually who started paying him the money. So my mom was like, I joke, but my mom was like the first paying client.
Actually.
That's sick. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
You said you started when you were 18. So was it this same facility?
No, so we've been in 3 different facilities. I started out in Shallow Water, and I just used the school's facility for free, and that was awesome.
Part
So
of
it's
your, but it all started from your project?
yeah, also
Yeah.
my project. And then as soon as I graduated, they're like, "Hey man, you gotta start paying rent." And dude, I was like young and I didn't know anything, and I was like, "That's fucking bullshit." It was like, dude, it was like $450.
bro, I want to.
It was so cheap. It was $450. I
For
didn't
like a big, for all the weights and stuff
Yes,
too?
dude, it was massive.
everything.
I was a
Wow.
little brat, and I was like, "No, man." And so
I'll do
there's
this to
another
myself.
gym. Yeah, there's another gym in Lubbock that just got started, and they just were like, I don't know, kind of. It was all donation based, and so they kind of had like people could come in and pay what they wanted when they wanted. And so I brought my members over. That's how I kind of bought in, and they had some equipment. They had like, dude, it was awful. They had like welded barbells, like.
Oh my God.
It was terrible, but it was fun, dude. I loved it. It was so raw and fucking like
Nostalgic.
dirty, and we didn't even have mats on the ground. And it was
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
It's like the come up story right there.
Dude,
It's-
it was sick. I loved
Trenches.
it, and we were
Yeah.
just dying every day in there doing the stupidest crap. So then they kind of lost interest in it. They like he was a PT, so he just had money and he liked CrossFit, and we were both kind of like at a stalemate where like neither of us were trying to grow the business because we were like, is this yours or mine? And then he moved and was like, dude, you can just have it, bro. Like we were making
That's
no
cool.
money. So we took it over. We were out in Wolfforth for a while, and then we moved here, and we've been here for 7 years. So we've been in this facility
your
for like,
longest location.
Yep. For sure. And then kind of just recently, like maybe in the last 3 years, I was like, man, I should probably start trying to make money on this. For a long time, it was just kind of like
For fun.
break even, whatever. Like it paid me. And then I was like, okay, I'm getting married. I got to start making money. So we kind of tried to start taking it seriously as a business really just recently. And then Bailey just quit her full-time job and started working here full-time like 6 months ago or 8
That's
months ago.
awesome.
6 months ago, yeah.
That's a huge milestone. Congrats. On
Thank
that.
you.
That's super cool.
Well, it was kind of a leap of faith. Like the money was not really there, but I was like, I think it'll be created if you come here. And
The
so-
sacrifice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so we're like, okay, we're gonna have to live on savings and like kind of come out of our own personal to like make this work. And it's been awesome. So like that's when we started our nutrition program with her. So she kind of got that all off the ground, and it's been crazy. Like the amount of money that that's making, and also the difference that it's making for all of our members.
Yeah.
It's like the hugest thing.
It goes hand in hand, honestly.
Yes,
It's
dude.
perfect.
It's awesome. So, and again, it's kind of like grown with us. Like we didn't really take nutrition seriously for a long time. And now we're like needing it for ourselves. We're like, man, we need to start giving this to others. So it's been really cool, man.
It's kind of crazy. He didn't bring this up, but Flatland has come a long way. Like I remember when we were dating, we were both in college, and I would come over to his house and I would just see like chicken scratch on the back of bills and on the back of like mail. And I was like, finally one day I was like, what the fuck is this math? Like this random math. And he was like, oh, I was just making sure that I was going to be able to pay all my bills this month. And I
Like,
was
this
like,
is the plan. This is the blueprint.
This is everything you need to know. Quick math. Yeah.
he's like, next month I'm good.
Next month, I'm going to have $50 left over for food. So,
Spending money.
yeah, dude. Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely come a long way.
It's come a long way. He also didn't have like a POS system. This is so funny. And he would have everybody's card numbers like written down on a piece of fucking paper. And once a month he would go in and he would just type all of the numbers out. And that's how he would charge memberships.
Yeah, dude, it's come a long way.
is
so cool.
And I didn't know what, I mean, like I was 18, I was given a business, kind of like took it over, and I didn't know about taxes. So I got really behind on taxes, like probably 3 years behind on payroll taxes and like unemployment tax. And I was like, what the fuck is all this mail the IRS is sending me? And so like,
Bro's being audited.
dude, yeah. And I was like, what? I'm not making any money. What are you auditing me? So yeah, it's definitely been like a learning process. So I went to school for kinesiology, which
Okay.
was like the dumbest thing I should have done. I should have done business or accounting, and that would have gotten a lot further, because to me, and I thought this would be interesting to hear kind of like how you guys work out, but we do such simple, like, like I have a kinesiology background, but to me, the application of exercise is very simple, and like nutrition is pretty simple. So it's like, it's great to know like all the energy systems and like how everything works in your body, but like the application is so simple. And I'm never being like, all right, man, we're going to tap into your phosphocreatine. So like, it's just,
People don't want to learn about it.
Exactly.
Like it's cool to know if you want to know, but most people are there to kind of just be told what to do, right?
Yep. And most people don't need much. Like,
Yeah.
I think for us, like our main thing is trying to be with very general people. And we do have some pretty good athletes in here, but like they take it upon themselves to learn that like our whole sell is like, if you're a dad who's tired of looking in the mirror and looking like shit, come here and like we're going to up your confidence and like you're going to look better, like you're going to feel better. Exactly. And so it's really, really simple stuff. And so like the application of all this stuff, I didn't need a kinesiology degree to know this. I just needed to kind of practice it. And now I try to dumb everything down like a 3-year-old can understand it. So I don't try to like be over the top complicated because it just doesn't resonate with most people. So
confuse people.
Yeah,
exactly. There's so much information out there and they come here and they're just like, I don't know. Like I've never done any of this in my life. I don't know where to start. And we're like, hey, let's just come 3 times a week and like push yourself and let's just
get a little
start there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
makes a huge
It is
difference.
how's your
definitely
workout? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, like, it's baby steps, you know?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, you got to kind of ease into it. Like, if you go from couch to 5K, you know, like that, they start off just like walking a couple minutes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of what got me into fitness too, is my mom, when I was around like 13, she was pretty overweight. And she just was like, I'm tired of this. So she threw away all the Cokes in our house, everything. And then she just started walking. She didn't know what she was doing. She started walking. And then she started running bleachers. And then she got like shredded and she opened her own like fitness studio.
Oh,
and
that's
then so
dope.
she kind of like,
She's the
She had her
original
own
gym
little
owner.
journey.
yes,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah.
And so she like is actually the one that introduced me into CrossFit. And she was a bad bitch.
Yeah.
So you were what, like 17, 18 when you got introduced?
Yep. Yeah. 17. So I played football. And my mom showed me a video and I was like, this is the dumbest, like, I thought CrossFit, you know, all the CrossFit fellas, people kicking and shit, it just looks dumb, you know? And so,
doing flips, landing on their neck.
Yes. Exactly.
yeah. And so she showed me, she's like, you want to come try this? I was like, that looks so stupid. And then I did it once and I was like, this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And so
Get
she
you,
got me into
So
it.
ever since then, that's when you like kind of stuck with the whole CrossFit.
Yep. That's it. I've never done any other exercise program besides CrossFit and high school football. So I'm always interested to hear like the structure of y'all's exercise, like how much thought goes into everything, because I don't know, CrossFit's kind of notorious. There's like thought to it, but it's more like, it's like if you shot a shotgun, you know, so we want to hit a target like that versus like, I don't know what y'all's goals are. So I'm always interested to hear like, so y'all tell me like, how do y'all program your workouts or like structure your workouts?
For
Workout
me,
routine.
honestly, when I got first started into everything, because I've always had like an athletic background, just playing sports, like ever since I moved here. I played football, baseball, basketball, soccer, kind of just growing up. And then once leading up into high school, I stuck with football and baseball. Kind of just did those training programs that the coaches would do. And then honestly, what really like pushed my motivation and like really got me into the whole fitness thing and working out was this one. You have to take a physical activity course for college, right? And I was at South Plains College, and I took just a weightlifting class. And essentially, this guy just kind of showed us the ropes, you know, of like good form and how to properly do exercises. And and that was like my first time being introduced into like progressive overload and like actually getting stronger rather than my coaches just doing whatever they say. Like cookie cutter stuff. So I showed some significant progress when I first started the newbie gains and all that. So I kind of became obsessed with it, and I got into bodybuilding, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, all the old school people. And I was like, yo, bro, like I need to look like that. Like I just want to look as good as possible. So that's kind of my approach, is like is the bodybuilding approach, because to me, bodybuilding is having like an aesthetic physique and having like a nice, lean, nice looking body. So there's like the resistance training, which is the biggest part of it. And then there's like hypertrophy or strength training. Like you really want to be really strong. But with hypertrophy, you can kind of just build more quality mass, although you're not as strong. So that's what I mainly focus at. Like I'll hit maybe 2 or 3 muscle groups each session and try to make sure that I'm either going a little higher on my reps or a little higher on the weight, and just try to get as best as I can and keep my nutrition updated because that's also kind of when I got into my whole nutritional sciences and stuff was when I took a nutrition class, and I realized that these are synergistic things. Like
Yeah.
you can't have one without the other. So
Unfortunately.
once that started clicking for me, I just like, I couldn't imagine myself not doing it for the rest of my life, if I'm being honest with you. Like having all that knowledge and learning what it really takes and what it, like the applications of what you need to do to, you know, be like lean or physically fit. I kind of live by it because that's just how I'm wired.
It's awesome. What kind of workouts do you hit, like, most of the time?
Bro, I love machines. Like, there's so many different ones that's kind of what makes it fun too, is like if you're only doing bench, squat, deadlift, and kind of doing like very simple things, I think it's really easy to get burnt out and plateau. So once you start incorporating like cables, dumbbells, machines, barbells, like
Not cardio.
calisthenics. Yeah, no, definitely not.
No
That's only
cardio,
for the
dude.
bedroom, bro. That's it. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything, kind of more what I like. I chase the pump for sure. Like,
yeah.
I'll go for the pump, even if I don't feel like it. It just feels so good.
Oh yeah, I like that.
But yeah, that's kind of just mainly what I do, bro.
Or
What about you, man?
kind of going back into the origin of it all. We had a really good strength and conditioning coach. Like when I was in high school, he'd always focus a lot on form.
I bet your high school you is better than me now, so that's why I want to hear.
I think my high school me is better than me now too.
Yeah.
honestly.
Considering that you have been doing CrossFit for so
Yeah.
long, though, I mean, it
Yes,
makes
we
sense.
do. That's what
pretty
and that's what I
comfortable
really love about, like, I'm actually not a strong guy, but Olympic lifts. So like if we were going to back squat together, you'd crush me. But then if we have Olympic lifts, I can always keep up with the bigger guys because it's so technique driven. And I love that. So I'm like, I can compensate my little bitch ass body because I know how to move good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Olympic lifts is my favorite.
You had
It's a lot of
any
fun.
injuries?
I've never had any injuries, man. And so a lot of people talk about like, yeah, I know, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of people talk about CrossFit and injuries, and I really think it's if you do CrossFit incorrectly. And I kind of was telling you guys when you got in here, dudes have huge egos, and like it's just part of what makes us dudes, I guess. But they'll come in here and they want to be, and we're pretty good about not letting people do this, but they'll come in and be like, dude, I can lift. Or like it'll be somebody who's like lifted 465 in high school, like that's their deadlift, and then they come in here and they're like 5 years removed from exercising. And they'll be like, I can still do that shit, load it up. And then they fucking hurt themselves, you know? And so like if you train CrossFit pretty
gosh.
intelligently,
Yes.
if you leave your ego at the door, it's pretty easy not
Yeah.
to get injured. So like I've had like little tweaks where like, oh, my knee's sore or something, you know? Or like, I think the worst I've ever been injured is I was doing actually a light deadlift, like 185, and just did something weird, just wasn't paying attention. And it like kind of tweaked my back. And then I went to a chiropractor for 2 days and it was like all good.
Fine.
So never had any injuries
Nice,
at all.
yeah.
So what about you guys? Any injuries?
I broke my arm once when I was like in 5th grade.
Oh shit. Any exercising injuries?
No, honestly. What about you? Have you had any injuries or anything?
No injuries. I've had a pretty
Knock on
vanilla
wood again.
I know, knock on wood, pretty vanilla fitness journey. I played volleyball in high school, and did a little bit of like track and cheerleading, and just started working out with him. And which I've also like, until recently, honestly, I was the kind of CrossFitter that would like come in once a month. And like, I wouldn't actually consider myself like an actual worker outer, and if that's even a word. It's definitely not.
is
I made
now.
it up. It is now. Until probably 2 years ago,
Yeah.
when I started looking at pictures of
Maybe
myself and I
less.
was like, dang, like I hate that and I don't want to feel that way. And so I really just worked on being more consistent, and then I was able to like add different things. It's funny that you bring up bodybuilding. I actually wanted to ask you if you've done like a show or anything.
No, I haven't done any shows. I'm a really big fan
Yeah.
of like
Heck yeah.
of the whole process and like what it really takes to get on that level. And like from all the performance enhancing drugs aside, it still takes a lot of dedication
Discipline,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, discipline. So I like the little, like there's like a quote that kind of resembles like bodybuilding and life is kind of just like having that consistency and discipline will really truly show you what you can do.
And be able to like train and be consistent and do stuff every day. We have So we buy basically our programming. So we buy our programming from NC Fit, and they have a functional bodybuilding program. And I started it about a year ago, twice a week. So I do CrossFit 3 times a week, the functional bodybuilding twice, and I am obsessed.
Yeah. It's awesome.
The pump is so great. It's so much fun. It's definitely a different pace from CrossFit, and it's like a different kind of hard. And I just love it, man.
I think she likes it more than CrossFit. So
I'm not gonna necessarily say that as a CrossFit gym owner, but it's pretty cool.
what's y'all's honest opinion of CrossFit? I know some people hate it, love it. Be brutally honest.
Oh, I love
it won't
that
hurt my
question.
feelings.
Great question.
Honestly, I think CrossFit is pretty cool. Like, I think it's cool how they tie in technique to be such an important factor of it, especially like on the specific ways to do pull-ups. Like, you know, with doing the, like just breaking it all down. I don't know the specifics like of what each.
the terms and stuff.
Kipping pull-ups.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I think that's pretty sick because I mean it's just a different way of working out. Like it's
Sweet.
What do you think?
Initially, when I first even just learned what it was, I was kind of the same thing as you, bro. Like seeing all the videos, I'm like, bro, what? Like, these people are crazy. Like they snatch it and it falls on your neck, and then you're kipping, you do a backflip and hit your neck, land on your back. I'm like, okay, bro. Like if you're lifting normal weights, none of that would really happen. But it always goes in the ins and outs of like doing stuff properly. But as far as like the athleticness and all that CrossFit requires, I'm very impressed, especially seeing like the high level professional like CrossFitters. Like they have crazy physiques too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like they have, it's very, very respectable. I honestly probably couldn't do it if I wanted to. Like I just think it's too much cardio, low key.
It's hard.
It's not my pace. I don't really like going super fast. I like lifting heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know?
What's funny is most people's favorite thing about CrossFit's the heavy part of it, and then we just got to do all the bullshit that we don't like. But every time there's a heavy day, everyone's like,
Yes,
let's go. And I'm like, why don't we just lift it? We should just start lifting instead. But yeah, I've always liked to hear what people's opinions on it because it gets a lot of hate. Some of it's warranted, I think. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see it. But
Why Flatland? Why the name?
Dude,
when did that originate?
I didn't even get to choose it really. So we had a couple. We tried to choose like CrossFit Lubbock. So we're like, that's gonna be the easiest for like Google searches and stuff. And we're dumbasses. So like we should have. There is a CrossFit Lubbock in town, and so they are actually called like their business is called. I don't know what it even.
BFLBK.
Yeah, and then they're doing business as CrossFit Lubbock. So it's like a DBA. So we should have done that. But honestly, I voted against this name. I hated Flatland. Whenever we had like a vote with all the people, and I fucking hated it.
So when was this?
That was like when
chosen?
we were 18. That was as soon as I moved
way
over.
back then.
Yeah, as soon as we moved over, we affiliated with CrossFit. And there's like me and that other guy, and then a couple of us were like voting on the name, and I hated Flatland. I was like, that's the stupidest name. And now I love it. But I guess because Lubbock's flat, and that's kind of what they were thinking. But I hated it. I thought it was the stupidest name.
What name would you have chosen at the time?
I don't even remember what names there were, but there's 3 different names we were voting on, and like everyone voted on Flatland except for me.
I have never heard this story.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was, but everyone loved Flatland and I hated it. But now I love it.
It's pretty
now
catchy,
I'm like,
yeah, especially with the FC logo with the star.
Yeah, it ended up
badass,
looking pretty
bro.
good. Yeah, one of our coaches was like a graphic design artist, and she put that together, and it was just like, look timeless and good. And I was like,
All right, I'm in.
so anyway, now I love it. But I don't even remember the other names. Probably some stupid shit, but yeah. So that's how that
Pretty cool
happened.
story.
Yeah.
I think it's sick how you guys are y'all are implementing like a new approach to it. Like especially like doing like stuff like the beer mile, and like y'all's content, y'all's page is more fun than like what you would expect any other gym, like any CrossFit.
Yeah, that's been our huge focus is we've wanted to like, community, and like on social media, it's just like you see everybody doing the same boring stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're like, man, what do people, like, what's the point of social media? It's for entertainment. So we're like, and we took a look, I love Red Bull. That's my favorite company. And so what Red Bull did when I was like 13 years old, they opened, at Taos, they opened up for snowboarders. And it was the first time they opened up. So they had this like badass train park. And so they had all these like hot ass girls handing out free Red Bulls and like all these athletes doing backflips. And I was like, dude, I am sold for life on Red Bull.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Dude, so like ever since then, like all I had to do was have a hot girl give me a Red Bull. And I was like in. So I was like, man, how? And then we look at their Instagram. They never, if you look at Red Bull's Instagram, they never post a Red Bull can. Like, drink Red Bull. And it's like,
there's always the sports stuff.
Yeah, dude, they just do cool shit. And
an
so it's like, how do we
experience
get
and a
that feeling? So that's what we're trying to create. And I don't think we're doing a perfect job of it. We're still got a lot to work on. But like, we're trying to create like, how do we create this feeling of you get to use your fitness in life? And so we're trying to do all these different, like, don't be afraid to suck series and like just using your fitness and also being funny. But I don't know. We're trying to take a different approach with social media. I think it's so powerful. And
I think that approach alone is so powerful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
it's cool. And it's changed our community. Like, so when we just did our regular like videos, everyone's like, cool, whatever. But now people like come to us all the time. Like, dude,
involved. They
can we
wanna
do
be
this
in it.
video? Yeah. And we did like, we're doing things that we don't normally do. Like I got on a bull. I didn't ride a bull, I wouldn't say, but I got on a bull and like all these people who rodeo now are coming up to me like, dude, how fun was that? Like, and like I have this, yeah, come on. And so there's this new relatability when you're doing the things. And so I had a guy who just joined a little while back and he's like, hey man, I'm a cheer coach. Can we do a cheer video? And like, he wants to be a part. And so it brings the community together.
Yeah.
And shows that we don't just do CrossFit, like we'll do anything. And so like, that's kind of our mindset with it. And it's been really cool to see how it's changed our community. Like everyone wants to be involved. So
It's huge. And we, so this morning we also got fitted, in the fireman get up. And so next week we're going to come here and we're going to do a 30-minute workout, like in the
snap.
full get up
Dang.
mask.
That's very, very like
everything.
unique.
And it was so cool, like getting to get fitted by those guys and getting to hear like their story, because you have like all of these firemen, right, that know what it's like. And then you have all of these people that are wanting to be firemen that also know what it's like. But outside of like everybody else, like nobody knows what they go through. And so it's so cool to get to sit down as like an average Joe and like
You get to be the student this time. You don't have to. Yeah.
And it's fun. And then so some of our members get to teach us things that they're really proud of. And so like just making them a part of our social media is like, I don't know, just bringing us closer together. And now it's not just us, it's like it's them getting to do some of the stuff too. So it's been really cool. It's fun.
And we've had so much fun.
I know. I was like, should we just quit the gym and just do this don't be afraid to suck series? Like, let's just go around the world and do stupid shit. Like,
that was a real conversation.
Y'all need to make content when y'all are traveling.
Straight up.
That would be sick.
That's what we're trying to figure out. We're bad at it. So I'll bring my camera and then I just let it sit in my bag. So I'm like committed this time. I'm like going to make some badass videos
making the time
while
for it.
I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You ever train any?
I don't
you're
train
out?
at all. Yeah, no, that's one of my biggest things. I think CrossFitters are so fucking stupid. So like, I love CrossFitters, but they get so obsessed with CrossFit. So like, they'll go on vacation and then they'll be like, I got to find a CrossFit gym because they want a t-shirt and stuff. And so people always ask me like, so do you like go drop in at CrossFit gyms? And I'm like, no, dude, this is my fucking job. I'm here all the time. Like,
I'm on
every
vacation,
day,
dude.
from 5 a.m. to fucking
I guess that
6.
makes sense too.
Yeah, and so we really like,
We did at the beginning.
I'll do it before long flights or stuff because it just makes my body feel better. So like if we leave and we have like a 12-hour flight or whatever, I'll make sure to do a workout because I just feel better throughout the whole thing. So then on the way home, I'll make sure to hit the like hotel gym and do stuff like that. So on travel days I do. So I'll probably work out, like if we're gone for a month, I'll probably work out honestly like 6 times.
Would y'all say y'all have any competition out here, like business wise or media?
I think each gym has its own feel to it. And so like when somebody comes in, they're like, man, what gym should I go to? Or like, what's y'all's specialty? Like, I think our big specialty is accountability and community. I think that's really good. I'm also cocky. I think we're better than everybody. But I will say like, we don't have the best equipment. Like I always joke with Bailey, if I owned a bar, I'd own a dive bar. Like I'm just kind of a dirty, like I like to get my hands dirty. Like it's clean. We mop the floors 3 times per week, but like, I just a rough old school feel to it. And I'm never going to be this new guy with like brand new badass equipment. And so like, if that's somebody's feel, they won't like it here.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
like
this is the work with what you have. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
dude. And then I like people who are like, let's get new, like we need new shit. I'm like, I'm still beating the fuck out of you with this equipment. So like, why don't you try to beat me when you can like beat me? That's a rude thing to say, but no,
Honestly, it's like, hey, how about you do more than me or do more than me?
Yeah,
And then maybe we might need some
and then
better
we'll do
equipment.
something else
But for
because
now-
I'm getting pissed off that you're doing more than me. And then,
yeah, exactly. But it's like, I'm beating you with this equipment. Like you're not even close. Like you're not fit yet. Like you don't need assault run. Everyone wants assault runners and stuff and like dumb stuff.
What's a salt runner?
It's like a treadmill that you have to, it's like $6,000. One, they don't make sense for us to have those here.
They just won't.
like, where would we put them?
Yeah.
And then 2, like it's like self-propelled. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
We have one in there. But it's just like, nah.
So they convinced you to get one.
Actually, one of our coaches that bought one, she's like, can I
Okay.
just put it up here? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. That's fine. So, but anyway, I don't know. Competition, there's some good gyms, but I just think we're the best. I think we're doing the best community. I think we're doing the best social media. I don't know. It's a weird thing with gyms though in Lubbock and like CrossFit gyms is I don't know how much how much money people are making. So it's like weird to compare myself because I'm like, am I making more money than these guys? Are they making more money than me? I don't know. CrossFit gyms are kind of going out of business left and right. And so it's tough to see, like, I don't know.
We started with like, I think there was at one point 14 CrossFit affiliates in Lubbock.
Now there's like 7.
And now there's like 7. And so that's really hard. I think each gym does have their own niche though.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of cool thing about CrossFit, at least the CrossFit community in Lubbock, is whatever your niche is or whatever you are passionate about, whether it's, competing or whatever that may be community, you find your spot. So.
Yeah. But I think they're all good, and they probably say the same thing that they're the best, and I hope so.
I was gonna say, like,
you're the best.
if you don't think you're the best, should you be in
it's
business? Yeah.
Y'all do some
Exactly.
things better than others, and y'all may say the same about others, or they.
Yeah.
So
If some are closing down, you're obviously doing better. So.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we toyed with the idea, like, I don't know. Have y'all heard of Alex Hormozy? Sure.
Yeah.
I freaking just love that dude.
Oh,
And
Alex
it's a
Hormozy.
basic guy to love, I guess. But he talks about like this thing of like dying with no secrets. And I just was like thinking about this idea of like, what if me and Bailey just like started a YouTube channel where we just like literally open the books of like every cent we make, like how much money the gym's making, the expenses, and then do like a monthly thing where we like show our expenses and our revenue growth. Because I'm like, man, I would watch that if I was another CrossFit gym. I don't know what anybody's making out here.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that
that'd be interesting
on your own
content.
little platform to help other people essentially
Yeah.
because just learn from others' mistakes,
Yeah, for sure.
How about yourself? Like, how have you been able to develop and like flourish into a bigger like gym essentially? Like, what do you think has contributed to the success of still being able to, run this facility?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I naturally had an knack for like, I just can relate to people really well and I treat people really well. And I think people like gravitate towards that.
For sure.
But as to actually starting to make money, I feel like since Bailey's quit her job in the last 6 months, I've learned more in the last 6 months about business and like what we should do for our business than I have the entire fucking 12 years that I was doing this. Because before, like I said, like I really wasn't tracking anything. I wasn't like seeing how much money we're making, any of that. I was just kind of like, people come in, cool. I wasn't doing marketing, anything. And then Bailey is like, we should start like tracking things. And like, I don't know. So we've learned a lot about business. So I think her coming on is like actually going to take us to the next level of like being successful. And you can probably speak to that a little bit as well.
So that's actually what I did at Lululemon. So I was a manager there. So I was over operations. So it was a lot of like profit and loss and like systematizing and like setting up training. And so I love you. But he had no systems. And so I started looking at things.
Systems, me.
You're like, we're just going.
I know how to do it.
And so I just started looking into things and I was like, hey, did you know that we lost $1,000 on merch and drinks last year? And he was like, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah. So like, let's make these changes and let's just see if they help. And, let's take a look at our quarters. And, so that has been really helpful. Just like diving into the nitty gritty, the stuff that a lot of people don't actually want to do.
Right.
So I feel like that alone has been really eye-opening. And it's like, what is the return on investment for the square footage that we have? Like, what does it cost like to acquire a new member as far as like training and onboarding? And like, so does our price per month actually make sense? And so I think that is a lot of the stuff that we've actually learned.
But I think too, like the unfortunate thing that I've learned that's like a bummer to learn is like the work isn't actually very sexy. And it's like, so I kind of went through this phase where I stopped coaching at all. And I was like, I got to work on the business. And then I just go home and play video games or some shit. And like, I wasn't doing anything and the business was running. It was okay. And it was like, fine. It was break even. Like I had enough money to live. It was cool. But then what we found out in the last 6 months is like, I was like, man, I want to start working. I need to work on like these high leverage things. And then the biggest difference is like me actually going to the classes, hanging out with everybody, coaching our coaches. And then I have a day like once a month or once a week, actually, that I'll just go through all my members list and I'll just shoot. It's my goal. I have to text all my members once a month and we have like 250 members. And so I just have a day where I'm like, don't talk to me. And I just sit and I text like
checkups,
and
checking in.
and you can't scale it. Like you can't send like a CRM message that's like, hey, you guys are awesome. Like each message is like, hey, I saw you snatching 225 the other day in class. That was awesome. Like, let's keep that going. So like, it's an individual message to each person. And it's not sexy work and it's kind of sucks sitting there, but like that has been huge for our community and our attention. And then also just learning to follow up with leads. Like we're actually getting a shit ton of leads that I would just be like, hey, you want to come to the gym? They're like, yeah. And then I'm like, cool, we'll sign up, I guess, next time. And then I'd never follow up with them. So like, for instance, if you came to the gym, it would be like, you'd come in, you'd never hear from me again. And now it's like, hey, why don't we follow up with this person that came into the gym that was interested in our business?
Make things happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like the answer isn't what I thought it was. It's just like, hey, just actually do very simple things and actually do them well.
Right.
And that's been the hugest difference to seeing us grow. So
They
Huge.
say that your degree of success relies on how effectively you can communicate with other people. And like you saying that, like that you already can feel like you relate to a lot of people, and like you guys are actually like following up. You're like, yo, I see you out there putting that work, like, and you're making it more personable. That's the kind of stuff that sets you apart. For like from being the 7 that closed down to being the 7 that, that's still running,
Absolutely.
So
Totally.
that's sick.
And I think that's why I feel confident, like saying that I think we're the best gym, because I know the work that it takes now and we're doing it. And I'm like, I don't think anyone else is doing this. Like, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Usually,
So,
no, bro. Usually, I feel like everybody, if you're doing something that not everybody's doing, you kind of have that own feeling within you. You just kind of know. Like,
Yeah.
Even if you don't think you know, you do know.
Yeah. Yep.
But what about the future? Like, do you have any like bigger plans in what you're doing, or you kind of just plan on keep on like doing what you're doing? Like, is there anything specific that you're looking forward to, or?
Dude, I'd go with the wind. Like Bailey hates it, but like if I had an idea tomorrow, I would sell everything and do something different. Like, and I say that I've been doing this for 12 years, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I like what we're doing. I really like our social media. I want to keep going with that. I want to learn YouTube, and I kind of just want to make this like Not Afraid to Suck series that we're doing like big. And I don't know. I just want to think bigger. Like I feel like I think small a lot. Like I'm like, CrossFit has a cap. I'm like, fuck that. Why does it have to have a cap? Like I don't have to just do small things. Like we look at this protein company every year. They throw this massive like rager, like a concert, and I was like, why don't we do we don't have to just do fitness things. Like we can literally do anything.
Have
Like,
fun.
yeah, just have like, what are we interested in?
It's
Do
like
the
the
stuff
brand
that we
Flatland.
want to
Like
do.
this has just happened to be Flatland CrossFit. And you got the Flatland,
Dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it branches
exactly
out.
right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So I love the nutrition we're doing, and then I just want to kind of do some weird, crazy shit. So
That's sick.
yeah,
Maybe we can do some weird, crazy shit together, because I know that.
down.
Like, I mean, we've met y'all at
Dude.
the literally
Yeah.
like the water pong tournament.
We are so
We
in.
need a redemption bet.
Yeah.
Hey, Flatland water pong redemption
Flatland water
Oh yeah,
tournament.
dude, I'd be down. But what's y'all's ambitions like with this? So like you started this. Where do you see it going, or where do you want it to go?
I would say just kind of being a media powerhouse that not only provides and promotes content, or promotes and creates content for others to help build their brand, but at the same time, we're dropping content that's entertaining.
What about
So
you?
yeah, I'm kind of just gonna finish my education out. I've learned quite a bit just going through school and learning about the ins and outs, and just within because nutrition definitely is my passion. Like I know I have something for it, and I always think about it. I'm always thinking about food or exercise. I don't know what it is, but it's constantly going through my mind. So I'm really just I got accepted to the Texas Tech dietetic internship. So I'm gonna get my online master's this upcoming year and then start the internship. Once I finish the internship, I'll be able to get my license and credentials as a registered dietitian. And from there, bro, I think the possibilities are definitely endless, because I want to spread my own message across, kind of like practice what you preach, and also showcasing like it's really what it takes, like how it's not that difficult to be consistent. Like I want to just be able to showcase that somehow. So that's kind of where my media content is coming in, because I've always wanted to be involved in being able to influence more people. And obviously social media, I think, is the easiest way to do that, and it's the least cost effective, or the most effective for the cost. But yeah, man, hopefully get a job with some type of sports team, or like I know he said he wanted to work for himself, and I've learned quite a bit, like from these like books or entrepreneurs talking, and there's people that have like that different side. Cause you're saying that it's not sexy work. Like you're running this show. Y'all are both running this show. And some of that stuff is not sexy. Like, you know, it gets
Repetitive.
tangly. Yeah, it gets tangled in there.
Yeah, it's
So
repetitive. Exactly.
I
It's just
really
the same
wouldn't
shit.
be opposed to just having a big say with somebody else rather than me delegating everything, kind of just take that off my shoulders. But I mean, you know, everybody has the capability to do whatever they want. So
Yeah.
just blow up, bro, and show everybody how important food and exercise is. The other thing that's like really motivates, I think, both of us with the content is like especially when you're a consumer, like most people are consumers. You're scrolling on your phone, looking at stuff. And when you actually realize that you can flip that and put your own stuff out and be passionate about it and help other people, then rather than being the one who's looking at it, not having any impact on anybody's lives or not making any money or whatever the case may be. So being able to like have a platform where you can do what you want, I think that's like definitely like one of the main goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's almost the same, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the biggest success that we've seen with social media is like you have to consistently be putting stuff out. And it's too easy to just like, I'm not going to post today, or like, I'm not going to make the time to do this video. Like, you know, like we could have easily been like, it's 8 o'clock. You guys want to do this later? You know, and you push it off. And so like, if I would have started what we're doing with our social media, you know, like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like where the fuck would we be?
Right,
Bro,
no, you're telling me, bro.
Question, man.
You're
We
telling
ask
me.
ourselves every day,
Yes.
bro.
And I'm still over here not posting every day. I'm like,
I know.
dude, I have all these, like, I literally have like 90 videos that I've made over the course of these 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna look at them today. I'm not even gonna think about it.
I know, dude.
posting.
It's the
I'm
same
just
thing. It's like you got to do the unsexy work, and the unsexy
Yeah.
work is just showing the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think there's another stat that was like like if you want to be in the 99 percentile of podcasts, you have to make 19, because most people don't make 19. And it's like, you can't make 19 motherfucking podcasts? Like you can. And so, yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just like show up,
Yeah.
you know? And so, and it's hard because there's days where like, should we post today? I'm like, nah, it's okay. We'll post tomorrow.
You might like not even think it's good enough sometimes. Like that, even that within itself can hold you back.
I know, dude. It's
like,
probably good.
fuck it, bro.
Just
like,
send it. I mean,
Yeah, you got
if
to
it's
post it
bad
tomorrow
enough,
anyway.
Literally,
So
yeah, exactly, bro.
80% rule, but
the 80%. Oh, it's like 20%, 80% of your
standard.
standard.
Yeah.
What would?
Yeah, I think it's like you should go, like if your standard is like perfection, you need to work to 80% of that, post that,
word.
because, and I don't know if that's the best, maybe you should strive for perfection eventually, but like you get so caught up, like, is it perfect? Is it perfect? Is it perfect? And half the time it's just like, dude, just post it.
Like,
man.
is it
Hey, no,
80%?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard it like something that's like similar to that. The 20% rule. It's 20% of your input is responsible for 80% of your output. So it's like the 20% that you're doing, maybe it's just that simple sitting down and posting is responsible for the 80%.
The text
of it.
messages you saying like y'all have y'all's different 80-20 rule. For me, it's like nutrition. So like keep it whole, keep it simple. For 80%, maybe
Yep.
20% you can have a pizza
Bad.
or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
So that's
Ice
just like a
cream.
universal thing.
Yeah,
80-20 is the
really
It's just
ratio.
80 and 20. That's all.
the
it is.
ratio we need.
So many different things. I think if you would have told like 17-year-old Bailey that she would like get married to the guy that she met in high school and would eventually like quit her job, like I would have never believed you, literally ever. Like I was raised, you grow up, you get a good education, you get a good job, you work for someone, you make money, and then you just like turn off. Like that is how my parents worked. Like benefits are important, health care or health insurance is important.
401k,
yeah.
Yes, you have to put into your 401k. And so if you would have told me that I would be where I'm at today, I would have been like, dude, you're fucking crazy. Like I never in my wildest dreams would have ever thought that I would do this. And it's cool.
So,
And it's frightening.
Would you say that? Would you, if you could change anything about it, would you?
No, hell no. Absolutely not. It was really, really sad because I loved Lululemon. And so I found out how, like where they were opening up, and I was literally like knocking on the door, and my boss, it was actually the first day that she got the keys, and she's like, who is this crazy bitch that like is knocking at the door? And she was like, waiting. And she was like, hello? And I was like, I will rock your world if you give me a job here. And the rest is history. So management was always like people management was always a strength of mine. It was something that I really enjoyed. And I didn't know it in college. Or I knew that I enjoyed it, but I just thought that PT school was the path for me. And so not getting in was the best thing that could have ever happened, because had I not managed at Lululemon and had they not taught me all of those things for the 5 years that I was there, and had I not worked that job in college, like being a franchise opener and a manager, I don't think I actually would have taken this job and done this with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have had the confidence.
Experience.
Yeah.
Plan.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any
Yeah.
like really like true like education or like knowledge within these jobs that you're working during college? You kind of
It was just experience. Yeah. And
Experience is the best.
cool.
That's the best.
Learn from the streets.
I leaned hard into experience, and I just, with all of my jobs, I just kept saying yes, and I kept pushing the envelope, and I just kept taking like one more step or one more task or one more thing. And I really think that was my like key to success with my career path, was just like, how do I get one more? How do I get a little bit better?
no, hey, that's a
Yes,
grind.
hustle culture
It's called
for
the
sure.
grind right there.
Yep.
I loved it. And so that really gave me all the confidence to be like, you know what? Like, I am capable of creating a program. Like, I can hustle and I can fucking figure that shit out or die trying.
There you
So,
go. Hell yeah.
It's still like the second best company that I have ever worked for behind, besides Flatland CrossFit. But so that part was really sad, like letting go some of my friends, because I'm also a relationship person. Like, that is my thing, and I love people, and that's why I like chose retail for my job. But it's like the best thing ever, because what I put into it is what I'm gonna get out. And I have never been in a position where I am solely responsible for what happens, and I'm solely responsible for the success of a program, of nutrition, of the gym. And so that is really, really cool. And it also has kind of allowed us to like brainstorm and create things that we want, and like create a life that we want. So that's been really cool. Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on the podcast and sharing your story. You guys have like some really great heads on your shoulders, and the fact that y'all paired up, it's like 1 + 1 = 3. Like y'all are on it, and
Thank
it is
you.
super sick to do Flatland CrossFit the hectic way, you know.
Dude,
So,
this was awesome.
This was so much
Yeah,
fun.
thank y'all for letting us be
amazing.
on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why would they want to? Did they want to work with us? We're probably learning. But yeah, dude, I'm glad, man. That's super cool, and you guys are both awesome, man. It's
Appreciate it,
good
bro.
conversations.
It's
and
been a lot of
felt
fun.
super natural just to sit here and talk to
right,
you
right.
guys.
Just
So,
having a
Yeah.
conversation.
Just goes with the flow, bro.
heck yeah! If y'all ever want to do anything with us, man, let us know. We're always
Sweet.
down to do some.
We are down to do
Yeah.
some collabs.
Us too, bro. We're trying to grow and expand
out.
as much
Yep.
as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.